Impulsivity.
the impulse to make all of those problems go away. That I contemplated it once in my life, and immediately it was like, or maybe it's the hard-headedness that I have, but it's like, this is going to take everything away, but I don't think kids that age understand the massive wound that it leaves in everyone else's lives.
Blake,
It's
you're Crystal. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You're right, Blake.
Um, I purposely got my art therapy certification so that I could work with teenagers because I had seen how much play therapy helped my girls. And I was coaching a very good friend of mine's 12-year-old daughter who was confused about her sexuality, about everything. And when I say that there were a mean girl clique at her school, they put the mean girls to shame.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys know what a Baker Act is, but
Yes.
I actually had to have her mom Baker Act her 3 times because the girls at school kept bullying her and telling her, "Why don't you just go kill yourself? You're not worth anything." Things like that, and the teachers did nothing.
It's got to stop, y'all.
I actually have a anti-cyberbullying panel that I had done on my channel because, and it's worse with social media.
We're all
Media.
victims of that
Oh,
right
yeah.
here on this panel, Crystal. Just so you know that we're all victims that are sitting on this panel right here. We've all been that. And not too long ago.
I
But
mean,
still some.
I mean, I personally have been a victim of cyberbullying by my abuser, all the way down to the whole revenge porn.
Yeah.
He tried to do all of it, so I do get it.
Horrible.
When you were talking about gun safety, I was raised that way. I shot competition
in the
pistol with
South.
my dad.
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
I carry, I'm sorry, but I do. I carry mine everywhere I go. I'm in Texas. I'm in the South. I have my certification. I'm going to
What part
carry
of Texas?
it. Southeast Texas on the Gulf of Mexico.
Well, no. Matt's family is actually in Galveston right now.
Oh, I'm in Orange.
That's what I
Yes, sir, right there.
But what people don't realize, well, in children, you're right. I do agree. They don't understand the gravity of suicide. They don't understand that it really is it. And if they do, can you imagine the level of pain emotionally that they
That's
are
where
in?
I'm at. I can't. If y'all would have known him, he wasn't nothing different about him. Ever.
And
We don't know what happened.
they won't let you see it because they don't want you to. They're trying to protect you of it, but inside they're dying. And it's one of the
I can unfortunately understand that.
How are we ever gonna stop this?
Yeah.
Christmas of 2019. The only thing that literally saved my life was the fact that I heard my children playing. Wasn't that I wanted to see them grow up. It's I couldn't leave them with the monster that was their father. That was the only thing that kept me alive. No, because I was literally trying in that moment because I wanted the pain to end. I wanted to be with my dad. I wanted it to stop. I was just in so much emotional and mental pain. I don't condone suicide, but I also don't condemn. I don't. Because think about how much they actually do think about it. They
I can say
don't want to be a burden on their families anymore. They feel like they're unheard, unseen. Nobody will miss them. Nobody will care. And it's none of that's true, but that's what they're thinking. They don't want to burden you anymore. They don't want.
But it's the most selfish
That's
thing that
how
you
I
can
felt.
do.
Mm,
When I was a kid, and I saw it as like, I understood it though, because I had early, I think my grandma and my uncle I was really close to died when I was really young. And so death was permanent. But at the time
Yeah.
it was like, it was never ending. The
So
first
here's
time, and then the second time when I was in my 20s, I was an adult at that point.
here's where I'm at with this.
But
Okay.
yeah.
I guess it's been 8 years. Is that what I said? Yeah, 16. This is 24. Here's kind of where I'm at with this in my thought process. And I'm in mental health, and I can't. There's no the trauma there. There's crosswires. There's nothing ever going to straighten out for me in that. But as an adult, okay, so we don't want to leave all this on our, But in 2016, I just want to know. In 2016, I know what I was going through as an adult. I was right in the middle of a divorce, and or headed there quick. It was almost around the corner, and my daughter and my son-in-law they live 2 hours from me now in Louisiana, and only because their dad and I got divorced, I come back home to where I was raised. And 2016, they lived in Louisiana in like, I'm talking, there's like 2 red lights in the whole town. So all the area schools are just K through 12. Like the whole school. They're so small. And it's like five schools had this going on, and my grandson was the only one that did it.
I'm still angry at people in my life that did that. I don't know how to let go of that. I don't fucking know. Sorry.
No,
I just really don't understand. I put myself in that, and I'm still here, and I have told these people my stories, and they still chose that. One of them I had talked to 2 days prior to when he did that.
Wow.
And I thought, and I felt hopeful because he was an ex of mine. We had known each other for 20 years. I lived with him even just as a friend before I moved to Seattle. And we were in a fight for several years. And he called me to make up with me. And that was the sign, because after he did that, I talked to other people, and he was doing that. He was making the rounds at making amends with some people. And then I couldn't get a hold of him 2 days later, and found out that's when he did it.
I understand being angry with the ones that do it. Honestly, when my sister didn't just outright kill herself, she just gave up, and I was angry because to me there was no reason. Her diabetes was controllable. Why did she just give up and just, and then a very, very good friend of mine took his life. COVID, I lost 23 people.
We lost so many.
3 to COVID, and that was it. And I was angry with Damien for giving up like that, all over a girl. And he was an adult. The pressure that teens are under, we really need to talk with our kids. We need to make them feel safe, that they can come to us no matter what, and we're
Yeah.
not going to judge them. We're going to be there.
But not only that, but
That's
just
what I-
letting, like, educating them on the dangers of the internet and social media.
Yeah.
'Cause I read an article not too long ago that said that this new generation of kids is the loneliest generation
Mhm.
because of social media and being isolated on just their tablets or their phones.
Yeah, that's all they could go to school and learn on. It was the internet. You didn't walk in on your kids. I mean, not Dylan was already gone, but I mean, like in the last 4 years, what you don't walk in the room when your kid's learning online, but you don't know what else they're doing online now.
I think as a teenager, it's much
Yeah.
harder. Like when you hit that high school age, it's much harder because you do need to give like more privacy because teenagers are going through puberty.
Right?
Each
Right
group
here.
or each age group has
Yes,
parental controls and different
I
appropriateness on
agree.
how to do your boundaries with giving privacy, but also like talking to them
Yeah.
about stuff.
I told my
But I
oldest
don't think any of
nephew-
us come out of like childhood completely unscathed. Let me tell you, I don't think anybody does. Like
No.
something happens, even if it's a minor, like traumatic
Yeah.
thing.
Hang on.
We all
Okay,
go.
Tampa Bay, I'm gonna tell you right
something.
now, I'm talking about it on this channel and I don't care. They can I'm not trying to even worry about what they're gonna I'm gonna go demonetize everything myself, everything I'm talking about it. Because it needs to be talked about. I'm sitting here on another day of loss, another year round, and nothing's yet to be stopped because I was just a victim of this myself not 2 months ago.
My channel is not monetized. Guess what? We can jump on.
We can
mine.
have I already demonetized this before I started.
Yeah.
Because I
And
knew this was gonna be on.
I've got it on my channel, and I posted this
And I just
channel
wanna
on me.
Thank you. We need
say
to
really
have these
quick
hard
too, like-
conversations.
Oh, absolutely.
I know, right?
Hello. What
Yeah.
am I
With
always
my
talking about? Mental
sister's
health,
kids,
domestic
I
abuse,
noticed
awareness. Oh yeah. I'm all for blowing the top off of all of these things
So am I.
and getting the awareness out and getting the help to the families and to the people that need it. You know.
Yeah.
And part of having mental health is to not
Yeah,
bottom in.
and
Do not do that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I wasn't gonna do this tonight.
It's okay.
yeah,
I wasn't
and
gonna do this tonight, but I needed my
I
friends
told,
and I needed my family. And
my
after
oldest
yesterday, I
nephew-
really feel like I have a family on
Yeah,
here.
I know.
I'm supposed to be writing tonight, but
I really
my
feel like
book's
I made
coming
a
out the
family on here.
21st. But hey,
Keela,
Yes.
we have all been through so much
Yeah.
It's
together.
been nonstop.
And
We've been bullied. We've been hurt. We've been
But we're
blasted.
getting
But we're
through
here.
it. I
Yep.
know, Keila.
And,
We're all
you know,
getting through it.
everybody
you know
calls
what?
it a village.
Like,
I call it a
I
flock.
just want to say to anybody who's listening, like, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And if you're a child, and I told this to my nephew, he was being bullied at his old school before they moved. I gave all my nephews little journals for Christmas a few years ago, and I said, okay, this is for you to do whatever you want in there. Or if you're going through something and you're not sure how to talk about it and you want to show it to me, I'll keep it private unless it is putting you in danger to yourself, or if you're in danger from other people, because my job as your aunt and your parents' job as your parents is you.
Yeah, that's
You know, I told him,
a good
I
thing.
told him, I'm like, you are our world.
Mm-hmm.
Because
There's
sometimes
always,
kids
you know, there's
have a hard
always
time going to their parents.
tomorrow.
Absolutely. And that's the parents' fault, honestly, for not
don't-
making it a safe space.
I don't think
Yeah, but
that's
also I
totally
think
true
when you're
from my
Yeah,
growing
it's not
up,
always
sometimes
true,
there's
but-
things you don't want to tell your parents. So that's why it's always good to have another family member or person you can trust. to
Absolutely.
tell
Man, I
certain
wish we
things.
had 988 back then. He would have probably used it.
A very, very good friend of mine, Dr. New, went through her nephew was about the same age. She's actually sharing his story about bullying and everything, because that is a form of abuse. So she is sharing that in the Survivor anthology that's coming out on the 21st.
Really? Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. If you want to write, Mac knows how to get a hold of me. Awaken knows how to get a hold of me. Body Illusion is also sharing a chapter in the anthology, and it's
Nice.
going to be an annual project. So
That's
if
good.
you're not ready to
That's
write
so
now,
nice.
got until next year.
Barbara, see, being silent about this topic only makes it worse. Kids need a safe place to discuss every aspect of this topic.
Yep.
And when I said about like sometimes
Yeah.
kids can't go to their parents, like that maybe your parents are your bullies.
That's true
Your
too.
grandparents are your bullies. Like every adult in my family, even the ones that didn't bully me, they let it happen.
Mhm.
So I literally felt like I had nowhere and no one to talk to. Like if you opened up any of my journals, like I journaled like crazy. Like you could see someone that's extremely hurting, but nobody paid attention to that person.
Okay, so okay, you know what, Wendy?
Ask, don't tell.
That
That was our
feeling
generation.
invisible
Thank you, Barbie.
is a
Thank you,
really
Barbara
heavy
and Barbie.
feeling.
I mean, that's why I do this advocacy work, because I don't want kids to feel alone. That's why I'm a
Mandy, the first time
teacher.
I met you,
Yeah.
the first time I met you on screen, like together, you said, "I love your shirt," and it was the same shirt I was wearing right now. And you said, "I love your shirt,"
Well,
and that's when I showed you, yeah, my
can't really
semicolon, my
if I do
semicolon
this,
project.
you
Wait, yeah, right there. That is why I'm so into the semicolon. It's because and
It's
then I have
hard
my
to read on
semicolon.
screen because I have to turn my wrist at a bad angle.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my god!
But this says alive
Oh,
for the
Haley,
same reason.
Crystal, that's beautiful, Haley. That is beautiful.
I just saw the music notes and stuff.
Look at
and I
that!
was
It's
like,
beautiful. That is amazing.
Wow,
it's two
that's stunning.
stencils that I put
Wow.
together. Honestly, ironically, you're gonna laugh. A $20 toy that you can get at Walmart for magic markers, the Crayola air spray, and you use just regular watercolor like Crayola markers in it, and that's how I was able to get that.
Art's the communication of the soul, right? I mean, we're writers, two of us.
It's so weird.
at
any
least.
I'm the vice
art.
president on the Country Music Board Association. Like I literally am the vice president, y'all. And I'm like,
Oh please! I've seen Reba twice. Once with Brooks and Dunn. I love country. I listen to all of it, and
I
music,
just
Same. I love a
I'm
lot
like-
of music.
I'm literally friends with so many people, and it's just like I haven't even said. Well, the pandemic started my social anxiety where I couldn't even get out, and then I've been to 2 concerts since then, and they were only because 2 concerts and a comedy show, but and then I have one planned for. Well, I had one planned for February 8th. I'm sure I'm not going to get to go now since I'm going to have to have surgery. I'll be laid up again, but somebody will get to use them. But my thing is, front row, don't go. I'm just.
I got to see the Beach Boys holiday concert front row.
Oh, that's so cool.
I even have some of the pics from them.
Oh no, I'm lying about the concert. I went on a cruise with my mom to Rock the Coast, and there was a lot, Buddy Jewel and everybody on there, and
one of these days I'm determined to get Ava Under Fire on this channel.
I went. My first concert out after the pandemic was Cody Johnson, and it was Ashley McBride. No, it was Ashley McBride. I went to see Ashley because she's my friend, like really my friend. And so me and Ashley, I went to see her, and then I took our 19-year-old last year when she was turning 18. She's 20 now. I took her to see Cody Johnson, and that's what I bought her for her birthday. And we were up front tickets. I didn't realize how packed it was in there until he turned the lights on, because all I'm doing is standing up against the stage looking for the next door, and told her if anything happened, you're going out that door, you go to the car, And I mean, that's me like
Yeah.
being so hyper vigilant all the time, and
For
I
my
don't like that.
birthday this year, I went to a concert by myself for the first time, front row, and it was so much fun until they started the smoke machine, and I had an asthma attack, and then I had to
Mine
go to
was-
the
I
back of the room.
They just had that trampoline in Houston over the who was that? One of the ones that got trampled in Houston at Astroworld over that.
I
No,
know what you're
Travis-
talking about. I just don't
Travis
remember which
Scott.
show it was.
Travis, yeah. Mandy's got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's been
Travis Kells. Yeah.
a few
And
times that
I was
happened
worried
at
about
concerts.
that because we were on the floor. We were right up against the stage. There was nowhere we could move. But
Yeah.
I told him, you know, I said, you get over this fence right here. And I even talked to the security guard. I was like, look, I'm a paramedic. This is her. She goes first. She goes out that door. She goes, well, what do I do? I said, you don't come back until I come out, or I don't come out, but you don't leave. I mean, you don't move out of that vehicle. And
Crystal,
You don't come back in here if you have to leave.
yeah, so I told her do nothing for nothing.
But
And
I
she's
was
in
gonna
nursing
say
school,
too,
so
like,
she's not.
um,
But he said there's 9,500 people in here. We're sold out, and I went, what? And when he turned the light on and I turned around, I could not believe the amount of people behind me, and I literally had to stop from running. Not that I could have got out. I mean, I made myself relax. I made myself breathe, and I had a nice time with her, and we had a good time, and then we left
good.
when it was over. But
Crystal, is that a Luna guitar?
That is many Luna guitars.
I was like, wait a minute. What am I? Is that,
Yes,
I think I recognize the pattern.
that is a Luna bass.
and
That
that's
is
it's
the
why we made this
Oasis,
chip.
the Phoenix,
And I wanna
the
say-
Rosa, semi-hollow. I have a full hollow, a
Nice.
12-string, and the
Awaken,
Captain.
that's why I
girl, you
started
could
this
just be a
channel.
one-woman band.
Oh, honey.
This
I've
is the
got-
reason that Mental Health Matters was put together right here, because I saw that in the
Is-
chat. So
yeah,
every
Put
chat I
together
went
right
into,
here.
But
Access
thank you
to
for
insurance.
recognizing that I had the Lunas.
Tampa said that
yeah.
same thing 2 years ago, or in her comment
Yeah.
about 2 years ago. You know, she couldn't get coverage for therapy, but it's
Yep.
slowly getting better.
yep,
I
and
mean,
I
you
kept
see
seeing
these
it,
stories like
seeing it, and that's what I said. This has to be a
we
channel
were talking
for
about
peer
a
support.
earlier on. Was it this channel? I watch so much people talk about true crime. I can't remember, but anyway, people were discussing
Yeah, I'm stuck on that too.
another one, but there was a case with a mom who went to the hospital and tried to check herself into the psych ward because she had postpartum psychosis and knew she was dangerous to her children. And her
Yeah.
husband was like so controlling that he signed
Oh,
her
that's
out,
him.
wouldn't
That's
let
the
her
one-
stay there.
That's the ones in Houston. Andrea Yates.
I don't remember where it was, but like it's like even when we are crying for help
for help.
and we try to get ourself help,
That's
like
when
it
you lose
seems
your
like there's
kids.
just so many
That's right.
hoops.
They take your kids from you. Ask Maya's mom.
There's so many hoops to jump through, and even if
Yes.
you don't have kids,
Oh, that
like,
breaks my heart.
Nobody listens.
Just because you have the strength is asking for help.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I
I
always
ask
hated
for
when
help.
people told me I was so strong for getting through the things that I did, but I was like, I was suffering in silence. Like, like I feel like the strength
What do
came
you
from
mean?
when I first signed up for therapy.
Hey,
yes,
college.
I feel
welcome
the
to
same way when
you.
people say, trigger warning, this is going to be kind of a tongue-in-cheek dark joke, but when people say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I'm like, no, I didn't.
Right. Good one.
Like, I tried 2 times and I failed 2 times, but I, in a lot of ways, didn't make myself stronger until I got help and until I was just uncomfortably honest with the people around me. I don't say I'm fine anymore when I'm not,
Sorry,
because I
Helena.
did that for months and
Too
months
long.
and months when I was in my 27th year of my life.
Disassociation.
And the 2 weeks before I attempted, I'm fine.
Oh yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Aw, you
and
made
the euphoria is real. That euphoric feeling of like, you know, and to me,
Misha, I agree.
when I wake up now, I want to fight for myself. And you have to be able to figure out how to communicate to a child that it's you want to fight for them, but also that they should want to fight for themselves as well, because
Yeah.
they have so many sources teasing them or telling them how to look right or sound right or dress a certain way. Like there's just so many pressures on kids. It's heartbreaking.
We love you, Yamina.
I mean, I thank you for being here. Period. I just
Yes.
I
you don't
sang
have to
her
say a
name
word.
wrong.
You're here.
Is
You know
it
what?
Yamina or
Hamina.
Hamina?
Amina.
Amina?
H X is
H,
H.
yeah.
Hamina.
My chapter.
I'm so bad at names.
Amina actually just bought from the book Speechless. Indigo, you might want to listen to my chapter because it's all about that whole
Got
box.
it. Got it.
You know, how my sister Susan did not fit into our cookie cutter life. We were a pageant household. Okay. Now, she was 20 years older than me. Most of this happened before I was even born, but she completely bucked the system. I mean, in our family, she was the black sheep. Dated multiple black guys. She fit into the black ghetto community perfectly and did not care. And that was just who she was, you know? And I shared her story about the fact that she was authentic, and she did struggle because she wanted mom's approval. She wanted to be a part of the family, but she wasn't going to bend, you know. And then
This is why I chose
any teenage girl, all that glitters isn't gold. It's about the mean girls.
You know what's weird? I was just that show's on TV when I walked in here.
Daryl
come in with supper and he asked me the movie. Yeah, he said, "Why are you watching Mean Girls?" I said, "I'm not. I'm not even watching TV.
I like that movie.
I love that movie.
It has a really good message.
The message I get out of it is I can tell when it's going to rain too. That's my poor shoulder.
So before I get off of here, I wanted to ask you, Keela, what is one thing that we all could do to honor your grandson?
If you see something, say something. And don't ever give up on a kid.
Absolutely.
What was his favorite hobby?
Playing pickleball.
Pickleball?
And eating pickles and hunting. That's what he.
No, I can keep that tradition up for him. I love me some pickles.
Yeah.
That's why I put my green on.
Every time you eat a pickle, guys, we will eat the pickle in honor.
I mean, he's just so. I know I've already showed him, but he's just such a great kid.
You can show the pictures again,
honey.
Like new people are coming in. It's fine.
Yeah, but this
is supposed to be about him and knowing, talking about the signs of this stuff, and being there for each other.
Yeah.
And but it also helps. What good does it talk if we're not going to bring about change?
Yeah, exactly. And I would like to.
We need some change.
Yeah, I would like to actually continue this topic tomorrow, and I would love it if you, Kayla, would join me. And absolutely. I'm actually going to see if a friend of mine who is actually has a program specifically for bridging the gap between parents and children for this reason. Some of you might have seen her on my channel with is Sharon Byrne. She's a mental health coach as well. Neurospicy like the rest of us. She's great. And
I couldn't even finish my class today. It was just like
but I gotta jump out because
thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hello.
And it's not just about
thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you so much.
Bridging the gap between parents and kids, but also like the teachers need to stick up and for these kids for sure. Like I had some teachers that actually did stick up for me, and even though I didn't rat them out, and a teacher saw what was happening, it still like came back on me a little tenfold. But I was happy that someone at least acknowledged something that was going on. So making sure that we also educate like kids in the
That beautiful
schools on
face.
who they can call or what websites they can go to
Yeah.
get help and support.
And
I mean, look at
it-
him.
If you're LGBT,
He's
The
just
Trevor Project is a good source. He is beautiful.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They have a phone number that you can call or text. Medical professionals will assist you, and their main focus is helping trans people, but they also help other LGBT youth as well.
He has beautiful eyes.
he's I try to look in those eyes of the pictures that I have left. I look in there and just wonder.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm getting
The
emotional
things I could
after I
just
texted you,
imagine,
Keila.
you know. I know. I'm so glad you did, though. Thank you for that. Because I did the same exact thing with my friend
Yeah,
Taylor.
uh,
I called her
it
mom
was
that
definitely
morning.
him.
Yes, that's so weird. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's my oldest grandson. Then it's him. Well, that's my
I'm
the
getting
oldest.
choked up, guys, so I'm gonna go. But
Yeah.
Keila, I'm always here for
Look
you.
at my daughter,
Thank you
Pops.
so much,
Just she'll
man.
never have this again, you know. He's just gone. He's gone. So,
But not gone is the saying, right?
right.
They always live on.
But not forgotten.
energy doesn't die; it only transforms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I'm
Yeah.
still angry at some people for doing what they did, I still carry the happy moments. I try not to ever think about like the crappy things that happen. I
Yeah.
just try to
Yeah.
like, and if I had a rift with that person, like I try not to even think about that anymore.
There was
Like,
there was a guy I went to school with. His name was Brian. I'm not going to say his last name because his family lives here in this town. And we went to church with him. And he was overweight and he had acne. And that's when my empaths. That's the very first person that I ever had an empathic. And I didn't know it then. I knew it later. You know that's what it was. But I kept asking my great grandma. I said, "Granny, how's Brian?" And she was like, "Oh, baby, you know, and he's played the organ at church, you know." And then I didn't see him in school for a while. And I said, "Granny, how's Brian?" When we went, I'd always go to her house on the weekends, and we'd go to church, and he wasn't there. And all of a sudden, he's gone. He just deleted himself out because I knew how bad they picked on him at school. I knew. I'm talking mean boys. Like I wouldn't have been able to live through that. Right? They were truly mean, and he was so quiet. He was such a friend. I mean, I would sit with him. He was such a loving person. Even all of the meanness from the jocks and everything didn't make him mean. He was just so loving. And he was the first friend that I ever had being gone. And I knew that me asking about him all that time, I didn't know what it meant then. I was young, but I do now. He was my first empathic, feeling that I had.
Yeah.
And he's gone. And I was like, I don't know how these people can live with
Marianne
themselves.
says, my generation of parents had the unique position of navigating the online world, and we ourselves had not had to do this as teens. I hope future parents have more insight. I will say, I think people my and Blake age, like 34 and 25, I want to say, who've grown up with the internet in a different way, like it was new for us, and there were no rules back then. Like, I mean, like
yeah,
there weren't
yeah.
even
Because like you could
hardly
go to
any
any
websites
AOL
where you had to
chat.
be 13 and older. Like, yeah. So like I just want to say, I think for people our age that are now seeing what the internet's doing for the generation under us, will definitely know what signs to look for or understand where they're coming from. Because the thing about the internet is I don't want people to think it's just all bad. I mean, we wouldn't be
Right,
here right
because
now.
I wouldn't be here right now if it was all bad.
Yeah.
You know, so I just wanted people to say, I mean, it's definitely definitely the intent of the
Thank you,
people that
Hamina.
you're
I love
chatting
you.
with when you're a kid.
I know this, Hamina.
I also want to
So,
educate
yeah, Hamina,
more
thank you
people
for
on.
Thank you, Hamina. I love you.
Thank you, Amina.
same to you, Hamina.
Take it
Yeah,
easy.
on a different day,
Yeah.
we should chat also about educating more children on
We need
how to
to,
spot
y'all.
predators
We need
online.
to. Look, you know what scared me so bad? That the show. What did they used to have? Let's see. I didn't grow up with the internet. Smartphones came out when my daughters were around 12. Yeah. See, my niece was 2 years old and had her own. Okay,
Smartphone.
she's 12 now. She was 2. She had her own Starbucks app. She
Oh my God,
ordered
I
her
didn't have a
own.
smartphone till I was like 20.
But my niece, my
I
baby
still had
niece,
was
a.
is
18.
12, and
They
she has her
became
own
popular right
everything.
in 2000. But anyway, I have to go, guys, because now my
Mandy,
people are back.
thank you. I love you. Thank you.
I'm here for anybody that
Hi,
needs
lovely.
it, especially Sheila. I love you
I know. I love
guys.
you, and thank you for being up here with me. I appreciate it so
Yeah, Fred.
much.
And if you guys are in the Facebook group and you're having a crisis, we do have a red light chat that's meant specifically for a crisis. We have a lot of chats, but that one I just invited everyone to. So if you need it, that's a way that you can call out for help without, doing it on a live or anything like that. Because we're just not alone, and
I like what Misha says. Wait, go back to Misha, please. Red's where's Red at? There you go. Okay. My God, what a change everyone has gone through via this World Wide Web. If we don't take charge and utilize it for what it's meant to be and what we can do with it ourselves, we can make a change. Yes, we can.
we can.
My
And we
whole
are
passion
already.
and point, we are. My whole point of this whole channel was because I said I've seen in every single chat almost every day for almost 2 years, over 2 years, that people were losing their insurance, wasn't covering therapy. They ran out of therapy sessions, and I just couldn't. I couldn't stand by anymore, and so that's became mental health matters. We went through a lot of changes really
And
quick,
just
but
to
I'm
say
very
also,
grateful.
other resources you might have in your area, at least I've seen it for grief and domestic violence. I don't know about other issues, maybe even for addiction. A lot of times churches lend out their like fellowship halls to groups that you can go to for free. I mean, it is group therapy for a specific reason, but which can be daunting, but that's another resource that you can look for that's out in the world where you don't have to feel necessarily like alone or like there's nothing out there. Because even for adults, I mean, think about all the things we go through, like picking up
Yeah.
and moving to a new city. That's stressful. Right? Like breaking up as an adult with another adult that you're in love with, that's a huge life changer. What if you live together? What if you've been together for so long? Like there's so many reasons so many of us
Love
struggle,
you.
and it's
See
okay
how
to
meek you
not
be.
be okay.
Yeah, the last person that called me that was my uncle, her brother. I love you, Aunt Dana. That was my name.
It's okay to cry,
Nickname.
Keela.
Because my name's Keela B.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. I'm just looking through this story right now. Thank you. All of you. The village. Everybody.
I
I mean,
remember
just
crying
everybody.
is a healing thing. I know it can feel vulnerable, but it's how our body kind of gives us a chance to wash and like
I always say
renew
tears and grief
ourselves
are the
when we
price
go
we
through
pay for
hard
love.
things.
Thank you, Tiff. Thank you. I know I'm behind on the stuff here.
And I did
Thank
just
you.
want to
Maurice.
say something that's just wanting to come out.
Go
Like
ahead. No, Blake, say it, please.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, the differences that are in all of us, and the reason they are so important is, we wouldn't have anything if it weren't for people embracing their differences or what is different about them and embracing other people because they're different and
Right.
embracing them for their differences. We would have nothing.
No, because we're not no one the same.
We have everything that we can see in front of us because of differences, the uniqueness that makes us us. And I think
You're
kids
right.
at that age really, they need to be encouraged and empowered to do the same thing for themselves and for the people
And
around them.
okay,
And
so like you're right. I'm not trying to cut you off. I want to have a conversation about this. You're right. Because so to explain, like I said, the schools were K through 12. I mean, all of them are. We live in a very small area. Like each little town. And this wasn't anything. This wasn't anything that to talk to your children about. Like, I mean, because it wasn't a thing. It just wasn't over there. Like, it was everybody love thy neighbor, Bible Belt. Like, I mean, just I mean, it wasn't. I mean, no, nobody's perfect. He didn't have the perfect parents. He didn't have I mean, everybody makes mistakes and messes up in raising kids and having so many kids and and struggling for money and wanting to know what you're going to get for Christmas and things like that. And it's hard. It's just normal people, normal everyday living people. Okay, but it was country people out. There's no way to have that conversation. There was no way then because that didn't exist. Like we didn't even know how to talk to them like that, because it wasn't like, I mean, they stayed out on four-wheelers and hunting and going fishing and whatever. They go walking towards the lake to the pond with their tackle box and fishing gear. There just wasn't that happening that we saw. I don't know how to have a conversation when you don't see it.
I think maybe it's just the way my parents were, but they would just bring things up. Like if it's a topic that's just that society has put pressure on being taboo, or that they were worried that they were worried that if they didn't tell me that I would find out from someone else who might not present the information in a safe way. So I think just figuring an age appropriate way to have that discussion or to normalize talking about how you feel, because I think if more adult men felt safe to even just express that they were frustrated, right? Or to just like cry when they're upset, to see that modeled could be so helpful because it could show young boys. I really feel for men.
That's why we had that week of men's mental
Being
health.
like born a female at birth, like if I just burst out into tears in an Uber, the Uber driver would probably be like, "Oh man, rough day."
Yeah.
Like it's almost socially accepted that women just like lose their emotions
Shit.
randomly, right? But I think the what you do to yourself when you bottle it up is you're actually forcing a huge spike of stress hormones. And that's why a lot of times when men do get really upset, they explode. It's because you've literally created like a chemical cocktail inside your body. And, so like when we say we're here to listen to people, a thing I employ even with my nephews is, do you just want to tell me something?
Right.
Do you want my advice on something? Or like ask how you can help them.
Or if
Because
they
if
even
they're
want
coming
help,
to
they just
you
need to
like
listen.
for help, on a hard topic, it just listening could be what's enough, because then they'll see there's at least one person who heard me.
Right.
Yeah, like I can't even regulate it now anymore at 25. Like I've probably driven all of you in
No,
my corner crazy.
no, I'm blessed to have you.
Yeah, I'm blessed. to
I'm
have-
gonna hug you so hard if I ever meet you in person.
I
I was gonna
know.
joke. I was gonna joke if
100%.
you talk bad about yourself again, I'm gonna smack you. But then I realized that's probably not the message I want to send. I'll hug
But-
you.
But from a male perspective, it really feels like you're kind of like your problems always felt to me like a bouncy ball, like in an empty four-corner room. You know, you have walls to kind of pick at or throw the ball at, but it's always being repelled back onto you.
Yeah.
I was always told that it's always my fault. My problem is A through Z, my fault. You know, there's no. I was made without a ventilation system.
Right.
Basically.
Right. Blake, perfectly said. No, that's perfectly said. I think all the men in Oklahoma were just horrible. Now, thanks to you, I'm able to see things much more differently. Thank you for that. And thank you for sharing you.
Thank you, Nisha.
Nisha, thank
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, I found me one of a kind friend on here.
I did too. Several.
Honestly, I feel like
Oh,
Blake
yeah, I
was
have
not
several.
prepared for me to was not prepared for my friendship. He was like, I guess we're friends. I'm like, great, tell me your feelings. He's like, I'm not ready for this. I'm like, okay. And then over a few months, I was like, do you have feelings? Do you have feelings?
Poor Blake, he was getting it from all sides then.
No, but I mean, you
But
know, and that's
it
the thing
also-
too, is like,
Oh, sorry.
No, like
It's
you're
okay, I
just,
was
you,
just
you
gonna
don't
say, like-
understand how wise you are beyond your years. Like you don't. I mean, when I first saw you in the chats, the very first time I met you in the chats, and saw your name coming up, I'm like, who is this? You know, this is really his picture. And I mean, it really, I started believing what everybody was saying. Like the creators are like, there's no way he's that young. And I'm like, yeah, I think he's right. You know, and then thank you. I
appreciate
just, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
you
I'm
know,
just-
and part of me hurts
Amazing.
because I wonder if that wisdom, like, I don't want my nephews to have the wisdom I had at 25 because I don't want them to go through what I went through or the extent of it. You know, I want them to learn and grow, but
Thank you,
Yeah.
Barbie. I feel the
Yeah.
same about you.
Yeah, I've made so many connections on here. That's just this is what I think the internet is about. But I'm 50 years old. You know, I mean, I'm not living in the same time, and I know that, and I'm not
yeah, Tampa.
just blind to that. You know, I understand that. That's right. That's what I was going to get to. Tampa got me. Blake's wisdom, and that's what Indigo's saying, that Blake's wisdom had to come through. He learned it like a diamond, like a coal, or maybe that's the closest thing I could compare it to. All the pressure cooker.
Thank you, Barbara.
And let's see,
And
Barbara
you know,
said,
you
I
said
picked up
you
my 15-year-old
town
daughter
is
at a
like
crack
in the
house to
Bible
tell
Belt,
after
and
called me not to come get her. I knew my kids. My kids knew I would never. Oh wait! After a cop called me to come get her, my kids knew I'd never judge their decisions, and I'd always be there for them, no question. And so do I. Anywhere, anytime, call. There's no questions about it. And I've proven that. Like I drove around for 2 hours looking for my baby sister. You know, it was 15 or 16 years old, out with one of her friends, and she had just moved in with me in Louisiana. She didn't know where she was. She couldn't even tell me the road she was on. She just kept telling me everybody over there was drunk and she needed to get out of there. I drove around for 2 hours trying to find her. I had no clue where I was going, but not one question asked when I finally got to her. You know, I mean that. And my aunt Dana hurt people. Yeah, and that's I'm learning that. I'm learning that. And that's right, Janet. Thank you. You can't keep
Yeah.
kids off the internet.
And I
That
think,
is not the world we live in. Yeah. That needs to be done. Does.
And you know what? I think we need to educate kids on how to safely use it because unfortunately we're moving into a very much digital
Digital.
age.
Yes, absolutely.
You
Let's see.
know,
Wait, I'm sorry. Hang on. When my son was caught being a bully, he lost use of the internet for 3 months, and I sold his car. Wow. See, that's being a parent. I'm sorry, but I mean, I have to commend you on that because that's being a parent.
consequences,
mean-
right? And also explaining to them, like I knew my oldest nephew was being bullied because he started lashing out at his brothers.
Yes.
And I mean,
I've seen that.
granted, they're all going to be teenagers and
You're slow.
they're
You're
all 18
Indigo.
months apart. But I
There
mean,
you go.
they're close and you don't want they were wrestling and one of my younger nephews says, "Stop, it's not fun anymore." And he didn't stop. And I said, "Okay, you're done." And I took him in the other room and I'm like, "Okay, I just want to demonstrate to you what the importance of no means." So like,
Yeah.
we were wrestling and he was like, "Stop." And for just a couple seconds, I didn't. And he said it again and I stopped and I said, "Okay,
Nico, hi.
like,
Hey,
what
Nico.
have you learned from this situation?" And I said, "How do you feel?" And he said, "I felt scared." And I said, "Why did you feel scared?" And he said, "Because I trust you and I thought you didn't hear me." And I said, "Like your brother trusts you and thought you didn't hear him in the same situation. Like, you don't want to make your brother scared of you. Like, if you're being bullied, you can come to us, like the adults will do something about it."
That was amazing, Indigo.
But I don't think he
That's
was telling my
amazing
sister.
warning.
I don't think he was telling my sister. And he was 7 or 8.
But
My
look what you
sister said,
did. You taught a
she said,
lesson.
"How did you know? How did you know he was being bullied?" I'm like, "Because I was." Because
Yeah.
he took the opposite of me. He is a very sweet, logical kid, and he was really bullying and roughhousing his brothers. I'm like, there's something not right there,
Right.
so.
That's how I feel, Barbie. My son had a mental breakdown as a teen. He was struggling with his identity. I had no idea he was going through that at the time. We worked through it with the help, but I still can't believe I didn't know. That's exactly how I feel. I didn't know.
I mean,
His mom didn't know.
that's
His
the
dad
tough part of being a teen, right? You're moving from your parents and your guardians having control and making your decisions, to dressing yourself, going to school,
so much.
making choices for yourself,
Thank
and
you so much.
that's the part of being a teen that's the hardest is figuring out who you are when you want to fit in and when who you are
Being now.
doesn't fit in with the people around you. It's tough being a kid.
Yeah,
It really is.
Skylight, I saw that Australia's banning social media for kids under 16. Yeah, maybe mine would have lived to 16. Who knows? Hey, I know I'm probably I'm way behind on these.
It's okay. No pressure, Keela.
Misha, educating with love, parents and children, how to socialize, how to grow confidence, how to be. We do not do that. How do we do that? As adults or kids, life is so different now, so different. Yes. I swear Misha's in my head. She's in my head. Barbie, my son taught a government program for troubled teens to put their feelings to art. It devastated him when he lost one of the teens. Wait, I was looking to see if there was a Indigo. Yeah, 988. And I'm going to tell you the thing about 988. Somebody in my family right now would use 988 and ended up with cops and ambulances all in their driveway, and they don't trust that either anymore. They just wanted somebody to talk to, and you don't know how hard it was for him to call. And he ended up in the hospital, and then he left that night because he needed somebody to listen, not call the authorities on him.
Well, here's the thing about 988 though. It's a unaliving hotline. If they think
Yes,
that
it
you're going to
is.
follow through with an attempt, it's their job to
Oh, I know.
send people out for a wellness check. And then if they go and speak to you and think that you are a danger to yourself, and I know that it can seem like,
No,
you
I'm
know,
on the side of 988 because that's what I mean. I work in mental health. I'm on that side. But then when
but I
I
can
I
see his
do
side
see
too.
both sides. Yeah, that's what now I can see both sides. Now I can see why, yes, 988 saves a lot of people. I'm certain of it. But here you go. You have that one side that you get this instead of getting somebody that's not trained well enough to sit there in mental health first aid and listen. You may have somebody that jumps the gun or is bored that night and wants some action. I mean, it's going to take some training and lots of training to not have those kind of reactions.
Yeah, and I will have to say I think they've gotten better over time and they weren't 3 numbers when I called. It was a whole 800 number, which is
Oh, the
really hard
800
to
call
remember.
or whatever it was. Yeah.
But like when I called, I did not have somebody who was trained well, and they were essentially like, "Well, you should just get a therapist." And I'm like, "I have one.
Hello. I'm not going to be calling this number.
I have one, and I'm still in crisis, and I'm on medication." Like the thing, guys, is medication isn't a cure-all. Talk
That's not.
therapy isn't a cure-all. They're just tools that you use.
You have to use the tools. Yeah. And
But
if you're never
you
given the
have to
tools
be
to
ready
use,
to get the help. And if somebody in crisis has just admitted they have a problem, they might not be ready for someone to fire off like a phone number to a therapist or
right.
a bunch of steps to follow. And that's the thing, is like holding space for people in that moment. My friends call it our 3 a.m. phone call, right?
Mhm.
I knew I could have called my therapist. And actually, it was actually like 2 in the morning because I worked night shifts. And I got home late that night. So it's like 2 a.m. I was like, oh my God, I can't be it's the burden thing. I can't be a burden to my therapist at 2 in the morning. I could have.
I
She's
didn't notice my call
literally,
today.
it's
She's
her
literally
job,
mine too.
but when you're in that mindset, and that was it. I was like, if I just delete myself, I won't be a burden anymore. But it didn't occur to me then that my loss would then be a burden, right? Even at 27. Now I'm
A
34 and
burden
I
that
can really say I was still a kid at 27.
a
I still
burden
that
that
fourth,
that you
you
made a
know.
permanent solution for a temporary problem that the rest of us would have to live with for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
On days like today.
Yeah.
Janet says, our generation of parents. Oh, yeah. Had a unique position of navigating the online world when we were ourselves had not had to do that as teens. I hope future parent. Me too.
And
Me too.
Who we are as human beings eclipses these setbacks by so much. And I hate that so many kids can't see the light that they have inside them.
I
The
know.
light that they are in so many people's lives.
Sorry, carry on. I know. I know. This is Nico. My kids learn very practically. Logic helps, but examples are quite important. And y'all, what were you saying, Indigo, a while ago about? What were you saying a while ago about? Oh God, you were saying it, and I think I interrupted you, and I did not mean to interrupt you. But there's something
you're
that
fine.
no, it's something that it was important. About the
Oh,
Bible
yeah.
Belt.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, like, the more that you research, I wish we just didn't have gender at all and we could all just be aliens. But anyway, the more you research how society created gender roles, in different cultures and how they hold up women versus men and all these nuanced things. And then you add religion on top of that, which adds a whole nother layer of
Oh yeah.
how you're supposed to appear. And there's great things about I've been down to the Bible Belt for some mission projects and stuff, and people are like, "Go come and drink some sweet tea." I'm like, "Okay, I'll
Yep.
need like 10 new fillings. It's really sweet tea, guys."
Yep.
But like,
Mhm.
they'll
I love my sweet tea.
they'll go, "Oh, what are you doing? Are you here for a mission? Come over to dinner," and they'll cook like 20 people dinner. That's
Yep.
amazing. But
That's their lifestyle.
the pressure you have as an individual to fit the image of a Christian can really affect kids trying to find their identity if that identity doesn't fit a strict.
Oh, I think
Not that
yeah,
all Christian
exactly.
parents are strict Christian parents, but yeah, and I always feel like the people who are truly faithful, and I say faith and religion are
Yeah,
two
religion
separate
sends more people to
things,
hell than Satan himself. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it, but
but
I
I
am
feel like
Christian and
faith
I have my faith.
but I feel like that pressure, right, is like even worse for these kids because it's like, what if they don't believe in what if they don't know if they believe in Jesus? But they can't
Right.
go to their parents and talk about other faiths because their parents are like hardcore in one direction or the other, and I've seen it also
And
too with and that kind of pressure too, if you think differently about how you approach your faith in a church environment, that could also bring on other pressure. So it's like all these mixtures of things and pressure that you have to fit in just, you know, stacks up on top of each other.
that's what Blake said what he said. You were made without a ventilation system. And that's why I call him my diamond, because he was made out of pressure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keela.
Tampa says my oldest worked on a hotline. She had a lot of training. She understood because her sister's many attempts. That's the whole deal. Y'all, I have
Yeah.
mental health first aid. I teach mental health first aid. And right, carry on, not everyone who appears on the phones on 988 is fully trained to talk at length with people in crisis. You're absolutely 100,000% correct. You're right.
It was even
It's a
hard
great.
for me to, to do. I'm not trained, but it was really, I mean, me and my friends had a lengthy discussion of like, can you be my 3 a.m. phone call? And some friends were like, I absolutely cannot. And I'm like, great, feel no guilt.
Yeah.
I know your
Because
name is off. I know your name is off the table for that if I need it, but I was there for a friend on a 3 a.m. phone call, and it's really hard,
I
especially
was
when
there
it's,
for him.
when you're an empath, you really feel, and like for me, I'm like, I've been there. I get it in a way that makes it harder for me to like, you know, I'm glad I was able to help him, but at the same time, I was like, ooh, it
It's
took a lot,
scary.
takes a lot out of you, man. Like because it's very scary.
It's really hard to tell if you're doing or saying the right things. I struggle with that a
I
lot.
struggle with it, and I'm in this I'm in this field, and I struggle with this, y'all. It's not just a thing. I'm sorry, I work. They're okay. The heaters. I had to buy new heaters because it's in the 30s, and
Oh yeah, can I just say really quick? Um,
huh? Go ahead. Go
you're
ahead. I have to deal with.
amazing, Keela. Like you've gone through so much. You're having issues with your shoulder, and this lady just like I made a Facebook post about. She mentioned the heater thing. Like 2 weeks ago, our heater we didn't know our whole heater would have to be replaced, but our heater broke, and I kind of put out on Facebook like, "Hey, whatever." And Keela goes, "What's your address? I'm ordering you a space heater." And I'm like, girl, you're going through so much. She's like, you can't argue with me.
No,
What's your address?
I would have brought it to you.
You're an angel, okay, Keela? Like, that's
No,
why
I'm
all
just doing what
people
I would hope
are.
someone would do for me.
I know, but I just want you to listen. Like, all the people in the chat right now are here for you because all that good that you're putting out in the world is coming back to you.
I haven't had the
Kind of makes me emotional thinking about it too.
I haven't even turned it over to the live chat. I've been looking at the starred ones because I was kind of scared too.
Keela, you have helped me.
Stay another day. Sad. Stay
Oh.
another day. I know it's seasonal affect disorder, but I'm just telling you. That's why I did this. Stay another day. Just stay one more day. It's always better in the morning. And if it's not, find someone to talk to.
I never
Go
thought
ahead,
I'd cry on the internet, but you are a legend in my eyes, Keela, and you always will be. You have helped me through so much. There's so much through things that I never thought I would ever go through. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to find a way to thank you for that.
There's no things you need to do. That's what being a friend is about, and caring about people. That's what this world needs. I mean, I just want to make my day to day better. I don't want to be better than anybody else. I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's ass when I tell you my whole goal in life is to be better tomorrow than I was today. That's it. It's that simple. I want to leave this world better than I found it. I want to leave someone feeling better than I found them. And I just want I want other people to be like that. I can't control, but I can control what I do. And if I choose to be better tomorrow than I am today, then I've met my goal there. I'm not a saint. I do things wrong every single day of my life. But if I can improve somebody's life one time a day, it's just little things. It's just little. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just all the pressure and the shit that I've been through my whole life. But you know what? This life it's a good life. It might be a shitty ass way to get here, but I'm here and I've got it.
Yeah. I mean, and look,
that my life is better because you are in it.
same.
You've taught me a lot.
Nico, right? You didn't want him having the last word about your mental health. That's the part too.
And I think too, like,
Benito, you're right about this.
I don't. Yeah. And I think the more we talk about this and the more we like people in this chat too, like, can we just say that Tampa B is like a freaking angel?
Mhm.
Like,
You're right.
she's been through so much shit, and
Oh,
yet
I
she
know,
still
right?
has a
Hey,
heart
Brian.
to reach out and support people. And I'm just really glad she came back.
Okay. Okay, so you can
You
say you
know?
can read that now. You can read that.
My mom told me after we both pass and meet again, we'll know each other just by our energy, no body required. I 100% believe that. And
She'll tell you why right now.
one of my favorite Bible verses is about how, like the footsteps in the sand thing.
Yes.
But I often wonder too, like if when you do when they have you start trying to heal your younger self in therapy, or at least the therapists I've been, the visualization they ask is, like if your younger self fell down and needed to be carried, would you carry them? And I'm like, yes. Like, why
Yes.
wouldn't I carry an
Yes.
injured child? But it's that image of like taking that care and love that you put into other people and knowing that you're worthy of it yourself. Because the people who show through their actions that they care about you, you know, a lot of people I don't talk to anymore just after the end of 2022. Sorry, I had to be like, what year is it? Um, COVID messed
No.
COVID
I
messed
put-
with my time.
Okay, so wait,
But,
I used to say 326 days a year, whatever it is, just times it by 4. That's what day of 2020 we're on.
right? Jeez. But like at the end of 2022, I was diagnosed with the thyroid cancer, and then in the beginning of 2023, I got my surgery. And when my surgery was over and I am just now emotionally dealing with that. I had some people I thought were my friends that I'd known for a long time be like, "Well, since you're through it, like you can stop talking about it now, right?" And I was like, "We're not friends anymore."
No,
Like, just because I didn't have to have, like, chemotherapy
it doesn't
and
matter.
stuff
It
for,
doesn't matter.
like,
You should have been
5
able to talk
you know
about
what I
that.
mean? Like, it's just it just showed people's true colors, and I think that's the thing is, like, people with good prisms inside them that show all the light don't need to go around saying that they're good people.
That's
They
right.
show it with their actions.
Their actions.
And it just
I'm gonna
breaks
let
my
you
heart
tell this
that so
story
many
now.
people so many good people in our chat,
I'm gonna let you tell your story now, Haley. What you
the what
texted
I
me, I think
texted you
I'm
about,
okay. Yeah. This right here kind of makes me
but
think
you
of it. Just
yeah. Yeah. So I told Keela that I had a dream 2 nights ago that I was in the woods and actually when she showed me a picture of Dylan I was like, "Oh my gosh." Cuz I was just in the
yeah.
woods playing with squirrels and Dylan showed up and he said, "Tell Mammy I know that her heart is hurting right now. But I love her and I'm so proud of her." And I'm still with her even though she can't see me.
Thank you for that. My friend that got killed in
Yeah.
a car wreck, Taylor. I had that was my last dream. Was last year. It was her. And I called her mom the next morning and I said, "Kayla, you have to listen. I heard from Taylor." I believe that
Yeah.
100% because I heard from Taylor.
Yeah.
The night
I
before my
discovered
brother
my
passed,
medium powers when I was young. So.
As a hard atheist, I have a very critical view of religion. I would much rather to live in a secular nation, but I'm willing to compromise on having one where freedom of religion is truly respected. I agree with you. Nico, I love you all so much. My heart is so full when I'm with all of you around. I adore this compassionate, empathetic group. So do I.
me too.
Me too.
So do I. Misha says, everyone in here right now is making a difference. I'm a better person because of you.
Oh.
I mean, we're here for a reason.
Thank you.
This channel is here for
Can't do it because of my song. I love the and Tampa, you're right. And you know, when you and I talk, I don't say anything that you and I talk about. You know, I mean, when you talk about that, I listen as a friend. But you're right. That song by Ren, oh my God. That video just it's like I wish everybody could just look at it. But you allow us to care for each other here in this safe space, Keela. We learn from each other. We cry together. We support each other. And you have made this possible. We're here for it. Thank you. It takes a village. Sky,
Yeah.
a second that Tampa me rock. She does. Yep. Understanding we are also different and celebrate those differences to grow into more by knowing the differences together. Yes. Yes, because if everybody, I don't want to be in a echo point. How are you ever going to learn to love and learn to love new things or learn you might not like something, you know, you're never going to know, or that you were wrong about something. If
Like
you
we know
don't
Blake
listen.
loves Joni Mitchell, but John
Yes,
not
we
so
all know Blake. And I absolutely love Blake for that.
Yes.
I'm doing a lot of learning about consciousness, meditation, energies, and love is the great answer. Love is the answer.
And
I
Joni
will
said,
say
every day love puts on a new face.
In the words of Joni. Thank you guys. For me, it's pretty selfish. It makes me feel good, better than most anything. I need it to survive. Yeah. Me too.
connection,
nobody could
right?
ever
I
forget
mean, people have a different way of saying it, but a lot of people I know who are getting over addiction say, you know, the cure for addiction isn't sobriety, it's connection. I mean, yes,
Right.
the goal is to be sober, but the
Right.
connections you make and the support that you receive from people, and it's like when you have deep grief inside you, nothing can ever fill the space, but little by little you get the joy back
Yeah.
about the person that you lost, right?
Oh,
You're able
absolutely.
to think about them without crying all the time, but like
Yeah.
crying is fine.
Yeah, like
Whatever.
today I
Like,
lost it, and yesterday I didn't. But I knew that today was coming. But tomorrow's actually the hardest day because tomorrow, that many, 8 years ago, I was actually having to go grab my child that I could not take her pain away. And there's nothing worse than that feeling that you cannot do anything to make your child stop hurting because you can't make them because they just lost their child. That is something I couldn't. If my aunt wouldn't have been with me, I don't know if I would have made it.
and you know what? I think
Brian, thank you. Thank you.
I think the mods, the group that you chose to mod, especially with John, like he's had a loss of
Yes.
a child and you've lost Dylan, and like
Yeah.
you make these connect. The universe puts people in your orbit to help you heal without you having to ask. You know,
I
and
believe
I'm
that.
learning that. I'm learning that a lot through you guys.
Yeah.
That remind,
I spent 2017, 2018 in the hospital and saw so many doctors. If I meet one now and I get even the smallest ick or pushback, I refuse treatment and get a new doctor. That can be so freaking oh my God. I have to
God,
agree with you on that. I'm sorry.
I have to too. Like,
Yeah.
man, I had to get a whole new doctor to listen to me to even acknowledge my throat
Yeah.
had a problem. Like, I get that.
I know you're screaming. You know what's wrong with you. I was screaming. I know what's wrong with me. Something is wrong. And, you like, nobody listens until now. Well, maybe it was part of my fault because I thought, like if I went right when it started happening, that they would just tell me that, oh, you're just not through your recovery or whatever. But you know what? Yes, I knew when my physical therapist actually felt the stuff coming back, and he worked for 6 weeks and couldn't get anything to work. I had to call my neurosurgeon back because I didn't even tell my mom when my hands stopped working and my arms, like the shoulder is just gone. And they were like, "Why did you wait so long?" I'm like, "Because if I would have went any earlier, I would have been ignored." And I hate that because I can't stand where I'm at now. It's kind of like I was mentioning Tequila offline. Her and I have very different in many ways, but we have connected over common passion of mental health that makes my heart smile. Yes, and I love you with all my heart.
We do love you.
I will be needing you all the day after Christmas. It will be 2 years after losing Christina. It has helped. It's been such a surreal mixture of bittersweet joy. I mean it when I say you all have helped me. We're here. We will be here. We will be here. Carry on. Keely, you're right. I've lost 2 sisters. As horrendous as that has been, I cannot imagine what my mother went through and continues to go through. I'm a mother and I feel for her. My mom always said that now I'm back in the live chat. I'm sorry. My mom said that her worst fear was burying her child. That's her worst fear. She had to watch her brother do it, her sister do it. She's had to watch my sister's husband, her in-laws do it when he deleted himself. And she said the worst thing that she can't even imagine burying a child. She said, I can't do it. And I can't even imagine that. And when I was in a coma for 3 weeks in 2013, and they didn't think I was going to make it, and they called everybody into the house. I was on hospice, and they called everybody. And I mean, when you're opening your eyes and the monster that you've despised your entire life is standing in the room with you, you think you've died and went to hell. You're like, what did I do wrong? Literally, that's what my first vision of opening my eyes after 3 weeks was, the monster that did everything to me when I was a child, and I thought I had died and went to hell. That's truly the first time I think I've ever spoke this out loud. And I started waking up and coming up, and all the family was there, and I'm like, what's going on? You know, I didn't understand. I was out of it. I mean, I went to my sister's house, and then I don't know what happened. You know, I mean, I do now, but I mean, I didn't at that time. And my mom never laughed. I mean, never cried. Not once. She never shed a tear. And my mom, that's where I got my faith from. It's my mom. My mom's, she's very strong in her faith. And I do get that from her. And she said, my sister called her a cold-hearted bitch because she wasn't crying or she wasn't upset. She said, God told me I'm not burying my child, and I'm not burying my child. And that's what she stood on, and I believe that's why I'm still here today.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just thank all of you for being here.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
My Aunt Dana, like I said, she was there.
Oh,
The rest of my family are not. We've lost so much. Every one of my sisters has lost a husband, guys, but me. Every one of them. My mom's lost one. It's like, if a man gets out alive in my family, they're lucky.
I'm not.
Sorry,
that
a
was
joke. I mean, for real though,
time to
that's what they
giggle,
always say. My ex-husband,
Sorry.
he said, "Oh my God, I made it out alive." Because I mean, it's like freaking Black Widows or something.
And you
I'm
know,
like,
I
shit.
think, I guess because I believe in reincarnation, in general. So I still need that closure of like some way to say goodbye. And I do think, however that's done for each individual, it's really important to take that step. Because I didn't get that with my birth father. I didn't, I was 18, and I think my parents were trying to protect me.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm angry at them anymore for
Hey,
that,
let's
but
go.
they didn't let me see him like when he was being taken off life support.
Yeah.
And then his brother didn't really make room for me to be there when they released his ashes either, so I didn't even get to like have that, you know. And I think
I
versus
have
my
to have the
birth mom,
closure too.
like I helped clean out her apartment. I went to her funeral, but I don't remember it. Like I disassociated because it was a huge loss, you know. That was my
Yeah.
mom, you know, one of them anyway. And I think it's that part of your heart knows that they're still there. Like little ways that you do things might be similar to them, or um I'm big into smells. Like I notice smells a lot, and so sometimes I would be like, why does it smell like her favorite flower in the middle of the
Yeah.
dead ass winter? And someone's
That's
like,
kind of how I am.
because you're
And yeah,
intuiting her spirit is.
that's like, if I get a cramp, and I always run
I
and
don't
get.
believe that we're physically ever alone, but
I get a cramp. I get cramps really bad in my muscles and stuff, like my legs and stuff, and I don't know why. It is this, since my legs started swelling after the surgery, and it's like I'll try to make it to without waking Daryl up. Poor thing. I'll try to make it through the bedroom and out the door and into the icebox and grab pickle juice. And every single time I think of Daryl, it's just like all this time it's just pickles. You know, I mean, it's so crazy.
For me and my family, we like to kind of indicate that presence or memory, I think, through red birds, that are off season for that.
Cardinals, when Cardinals are around, angels.
Or-
Wait, Cardinals are near, are here. Angels are near.
or white lilies
Yes.
that spread out. That seemed to be something that started with my great grandmother, and we could see them sprouting a whole lot in
Yeah.
my grandmother's garden.
I truly believe that.
So,
I believe that way because I always say, wait, especially the Cardinals, and I mean, I don't know. I've just always been told when Cardinals are here, angels are near, and it's the one you lost, someone you lost. One of my residents I was really close to, and I mean, I traded her ashes for my crystal. Her ashes for my crystal candy dish at her celebration of life. So I have her, and he has my crystal candy dish, and but she lived with us for so many years, and that was her home. I had 3 residents ashes up on my desk, and I finally was like, I gotta go do something with y'all. Y'all can't be in here just watching me work every day. I mean, I talked to them just like they were there every single day, and I'm so lonesome now that they're not in there because we did put them permanents, outside, and I'm like, I wish I would have done that. I feel it kind of was gross. I don't know. I just talked to him. I locked my keys in the office one day, and I called Dustin. God love him. He was only 33, and he had cancer, and he went on hospice to stay with us at home. I mean, in my place, and he died on November 15th of 2019, right before the pandemic hit. And I kept him in my office. I'm telling you, he wanted to go to the beach. He knew he wasn't going to make it, and he wanted to go to the beach. I said, we can't go to the beach, but what else do you want to do? And he said, I want to have a bonfire and a barbecue. And that was the last time he was ever up and ate or out of bed or anything. And we did that, and I'm pushing him in his wheelchair outside towards the bonfire, and I start hearing all my staff and all the employees, everybody, all the residents screaming at me, "Do you try to kill him now?" I'm like, "What?" I'm not thinking he's got his oxygen right there. I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm just trying to get him up to the bonfire. I mean, I was like, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" I was like, "That's I think it's far enough." And I kept him in my office until last year.
Hi,
He
Journey.
died at 19. And you know what? I locked my keys in my office, and I called his sister. I said, I wish Dustin would just get up and unlock the door. She's a nurse, so she's with like me. We could talk about things like that. And it was so incredible to have those connections with the holding their hand when they left this world. And with Dylan, I just didn't. There was nothing left.
Yeah. No,
And I couldn't
it was
make
hard to
myself
see my
go in
birth
there.
mom like that, but
I wanted to share his picture again. Is that okay, y'all?
yeah. God, he has such a beautiful aura.
He's so beautiful. He was so beautiful. Look. My daughter, my son-in-law, and Dylan. Look at his little eyes.
Oh, he
He
kind of
was
got
looking at his daddy. Yeah, he looks like his daddy. Yeah, he looks like Dylan.
Yeah,
But
he
he has
does.
Amanda's smile. But yeah, he was. But when he smiled as big as my daughter. And that's the worst part for me of not being able to take her pain away, because I can't take her pain away. There's nothing I can do, and I've had to let go and let God on that one, because I can't take her pain away. But I mean, there's all my grandbabies, all of them right there, and it's my daughter, and they're still in. He looks sad there. I always look at this picture and think, what was he going through in his mind?
there's a little pain there, but you
Look
can
at
still
that. Look at
see-
his eyes. There is pain in there.
Yeah.
And
you
I
can
don't know.
still see a big personality though.
Yeah. Oh,
He is.
look. He is, yeah. Indigo. But look, I mean, that one right there, you wouldn't know that he's in ninth grade now, and that one's pregnant, and that one's just trying to keep it all together, and that one is fixing to get married. Life goes on. Dylan will forever be 13. So, anyway, thank you.
Of course.
So, hey, Sandy. Hey, Journey. Thank you for being here so much. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
After he gave the
Detoxing
message
Never
for you,
Alone.
he wanted us to dance with
you.
the squirrels. I said, "How the heck am
Him
I
to-
gonna dance
oh, that
with the
is. Thank you,
squirrels?"
Detox.
And then he said, we're in a spirit dream. You can dance with squirrels if you want to."
You know what? Barbara, there's love there too. Yes. Oh, he's a little. Thank you,
So
Misha.
much love.
Look, this kid was so great. He was just a great kid. He's just a great kid. He knew, I mean, they take their tackle boxes and their fishing poles and go down and go fishing, and that was great, but he knew maybe did not like killing animals. And so they go hunt. I'm like, don't you dare shoot a bird. Don't you dare shoot a squirrel. Just let it live. Don't scare to shoot a rabbit, And and he was like, that's what us boys are supposed to be doing. I'm like, I'm not eating that. If you shoot it, you're going to eat every bit of it. I'm like, if you're going to shoot it, because that's the rules down here, in the South. If you shoot it, you eat it. They would go out there, and I was like, don't you shoot those beautiful birds. Don't you shoot those birds. You shoot it, you're going to eat it.
My grandmother taught my grandfather that lesson one time. He
Oh, yeah.
had shot a prairie dog.
Oh.
He ate that prairie dog.
Oh my gosh. Work. I'm sorry. They're trying to get their heaters still set up. That I told them 2 days ago they were coming. Okay.
Doesn't it's just like everyone in the chat sharing memories. Like the worst part of the beginning of grief is that it hurts to remember.
Yeah.
And bless him, me and my current ex-boyfriend still live together because we couldn't move out right away, and he lost both his grandparents in the last 2 years. So the holidays are like the worst time for him right now.
And that's probably,
Um,
you know what, Indigo, you say that it's brought up a memory.
Thank you
of
for coming,
something.
Carrie Ann. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I think that a memory that came through a while ago, that was just, and you know how my memories are, they're gone, but I guess we get miracles every day. And he asked, because he knew his dad just got laid off work. And he said, maybe I put too much on my Christmas list. And I said, no, you did not. I was already planning on helping them. But I guess his mind couldn't. I don't know if that's even part of the reason, but just something y'all were saying about not wanting to be a burden. But then finding out that these kids had a suicide pact, and there was 5 schools involved, and my grandson's the only one that's not walking this earth right now. It pisses me off.
That concerns me on a deep level.
Yeah.
That, I mean, just imagine the devastation if they'd all went through with it.
Oh my God.
Like, it's messed up they even know what that kind of pact is at all.
Tell me where you
But,
learned
like,
it, because we
imagine
don't talk about it.
but I mean, I think that's the point of this, right? We should talk
You're
about
right.
what's a feeling versus what's an emotion.
You're
Like,
right.
what's a one and done and get it out, and what's a lingering difficult thing to process. and how to navigate that and be okay trusting other adults. And that's the thing is, gosh, as an adult, I feel like it's so hard for me to navigate which adults are trustworthy. And I can't imagine trying to do that as a kid. But
That's
what's
what I'm
going on
saying.
with these kids that at
That
5
they
different
can't
schools,
even.
like
That they can't
5
even. That
different
they,
kids had the thought to do a pact like that.
I know.
I mean,
And
it sounds like a scam to me. That's the part that's concerning to me because it's like,
was he being bullied and they all promised to do it and then they did it so he would do it? I don't
yeah,
know. It took weeks for them to get any information. Could your grandson's energy could be your grandson's energy is still around you, giving you strength to talk about him, his story, and get other people talking, raising awareness, and possibly saving another team's life. And Barbie, that would be the best outcome that this could ever be, is if his story saved somebody's life. Absolutely.
And you know what? And I think that's the thing is if you don't if we don't talk about it, then we're part of the problem.
We are.
Right? I mean, like talking about my own trauma and like going to therapy and digging down into like what gave me that feeling. I was like, nothing my parents did or didn't say or do made me feel that way. Like it wasn't them necessarily. It was a combination of, I guess, my world at the time, which I guess would have been school and whatever, and me always having this view that adults' problems are more important than mine. I don't know, like,
understand.
nobody told me that, though. Like, I picked it up subliminally somehow as a child and, like,
And
internalized
see,
that.
I guess me knowing what kind of family that we have, I mean, knowing that the family that we have is there wasn't, I'm not going to say there wasn't a need. Okay. I'm not going to say that, but living in the South on a red dirt road or or white rock road. And the only thing you had to worry about, is if you had enough shells for your gun or enough hooks or for your tackle for your fishing, or bait. And it was just like they went to school, we picked them up. Like I said, but it's really hard when you have like K through 12 in one school because you have so much more that the older children, the older kids are doing to the younger kids. Because I mean, my granddaughter, that's the one that's married and pregnant, my oldest granddaughter, she went to that, the school, and she's just like, she quit cheerleading because of it. She was just like, and I went to those schools when I lived with my grandmother over there one year, and it's K through 12th grade, and the kids are mean. The older kids are mean to the younger kids. There's a reason that they separate them.
and I had a similar upbringing to living in Oklahoma. That was, that same safe space of doing crazy stuff outside like that. That was 2 hours away from me. I got to be there almost every weekend.
Yeah.
And it was hard knowing that I would have to go back to reality as soon as Monday came around. And then moving to New Mexico, it was like the worst culture shock ever.
Yeah.
Everything was different, but so much so that it was overwhelming, and like I still feel like I never healed from that. I certainly don't stop talking about it because I mean that sense of identity
agree
and
with you.
belonging is still very much rooted in Oklahoma because I mean that place is my safe space.
Yeah.
But it was also difficult. That southern upbringing was kind of difficult for the fact
It
that
is,
it's very strong, like
yeah,
anti-negativity kind of culture. Like
it is. Look, we have 3 separate buildings for pre-K through high school in the same small buildings at Streams. Yes, and yes, same land. I mean, like literally, you had K through 6, and then 7th and 8th, and then upstairs was 9th through 12th.
And
And
I think that the challenge of navigating, I think maybe I just dealt with so much loss at such a young age that one day in college, I was like, why am I miserable? And then a voice in my head's like, because you're trying to fit in with people you're never going to fit in with. And in that moment, I was like, F it.
I think about it
Like,
now about,
let's figure out who I am. And if you
yeah,
can't
that's it.
handle that, that's not my honest way I go about the world is, if you give me the chance to show you who I am, I'll give that to you. I will gladly like lay my heart on a silver platter metaphorically, because it should stay in my body. That's a joke. But
Okay.
but I'll give you my heart, I'll give you my home, I'll support you. But if I meet somebody who doesn't want to give me the chance or whatever, that's not my problem. That's a them issue. But it took me a long time to get there because I had to figure out who I was. I'm still figuring that out.
I'm still figuring
You know,
that out. too.
I think we wing it, guys. I think we get thrown into the world and we're all just winging it, hoping for the best.
Adulting sucks too.
And sometimes when,
if my grandmother was the
You
queen
know.
of the Ring of Division.
sometimes we land and we find our people early and sometimes we don't.
Wait, hang on. Okay, so
Oh my
Barbara
gosh.
says,
Meanwhile, I'm
My-
here
oh.
like my graduating class was like 900 people.
see the school over here where I went to school, we have like pre-KK, and then there's first, second, third, then there's fourth, fifth, sixth, and there's seventh, eighth, then there's 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Yeah, there's like I mean, it's huge where I graduated from. My oldest daughter, yeah, that's a lot. And I wanted to see this, Nico. I went to 7th through 12th in the town that started it because of the atrocities committed against the kids. Wow, Nico. We all heard of Orange Shirt Day for Indigenous Children. Wow. Take care of our hearts when we give it to you. For so long, we forgot that part. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's the truth. Yeah. So, everybody, yeah, one thing could come out of any of this is that at least one child's life isn't over. The possibilities are endless, and they don't see that. They don't see that when they're young. They don't see that they can't comprehend it all. That there's a big life out here waiting for you. You can make it. Just stay another day. Your story isn't
did we
over.
all ever imagine that in the lifeline of our life, we would all dig into the rabbit hole that was Scientology and be here at all?
No.
Like, did we?
No.
Did we ever think that would happen, y'all? Like, here we are.
Kind of feels like I walked into an alternate dimension.
Me too. It's like I'm absolutely do not even know what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm on a channel on YouTube. What?
But I want to say what
I don't
a
even
friend
think
said
it's
to
real.
me, for Keela and Blake and everybody in the chat. One of my very best friends said to me, if you can't fight for yourself, call me and I'll fight for you.
Absolutely. Barbie. Yes.
We'll fight for you. You know.
I guess if we have to say one good thing about Scientology, I don't know if I can.
It brought us to okay.
It brought us together.
Okay.
I feel
But we made the choice to stay.
didn't even go down the rabbit hole, and I've been through so many, yet still we are here. Yeah. We are.
I hope mental health is.
I didn't want to be in this field, and look where I'm at.
I hope mental health is the final destination for all of them. Like I want this for them. I hope someday
Yeah.
that this works for them.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean to say that
that's
to
the thing is-
isolate them. I mean, mental health is always evolving, and the fields in it are constantly learning and trying. And I mean, there was a point in my life where I thought I like literally lost my mind. No one believed me when I
Agreed.
told them that nothing is real. Nothing is real to me. And I couldn't explain that without sounding insane.
But I know what you meant.
Yeah,
I heard you.
Yeah, I for three long years.
Oh, Nico, wait. I like this. Look. What a wicked web we've all weaved and been
I
through.
went from one cult to the next. Hit up the Mormons. That was a whole rabbit hole. And then one of them was talking to or about or mentioned Scientology, and I was like, never heard of it. Like I literally had not ever heard of it till the documentary. Like it was just not in my periphery at all.
I think the first time I had ever heard of it, we took a trip to Clearwater, of course, to see some family relatives, and they had this really nice condo, which looking back on it now, I think was intentionally chosen because you peeked out every window and all of it was just like this over glorified castle. Just couldn't be more pretentious and pompous, like this giant Thor. It's like this giant, like gaudy sore thumb sticking up in the middle of Clearwater. It's like so out of place. And at the time, I was like, I cannot believe that someone would call that a church. Like it's not even. I don't know. I've never understood big churches, but I was like, I always got the vibe that was not church. It was like the farthest thing from it.
I know this is going to sound like the weirdest thing to be irrationally angry at them for, but I say irrational because I feel like the elder and child abuse rational anger. I'm irrationally angry how they ruined the Fort Harrison Hotel.
Right?
Like that was a landmark
I have
building
Dylan's other grandma.
of amazing architecture, and they freaking ruined it. I know that's I said irrational. That's why I said I feel a little irrational. Like you bought up this beautiful property and then you like abusively shove people in there, don't let them eat, like don't let them sleep, and just let all this beautiful architecture and metalwork and history go down the drain.
I told someone recently that Scientology should be burned to the ground and have its ashes vaporized. Like it should not exist.
Well, and I also hope too that by us discussing this, like wrapping around to the deletion stuff, like, does it break everybody's heart that if you like just listen to the survivors talk, they all have had like a self-deletion attempt before the age of 22? And like when you read Jenna's book, she has such this kind of light, beautiful way of like putting forward the most horrific things that happened to her. And I think it's just her, like the way that she writes it, And then I had to backtrack and be like, wait, girl, they locked you in a room and you tried to jump out like a high window. That's not good. That's not good. And then you hear
I'm doing
Nora say, you know, she survived an attempt. Like that thread runs through there too.
yeah, and I'm
And
doing
they
a
were
I
kids.
haven't told any of y'all yet that
They
I'm
were
getting the
kids in
information
a
for
horrific
for
situation.
let me see, I've got it on right here. Lisa McPherson. I have, her day's coming up. Her anniversary's coming up. And December 5th.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do
I'm gonna try to go out there.
Are you? Well, I have
Yeah,
have a
I took the day off to go out to the Oregon. I just gotta get a good picture of her printed out so I could take it with me.
I've got
If it's
I've
not
got a
too
bunch of the
cold.
information, but I'm going to at least run a story for her in memory. Oh, well, you know what? They don't own that, Barbara. You can go do whatever you want to do. Give me a break. I'm not trying to be ugly, but Barbara,
College
you are so much more special.
Hi,
You do
College
what
Level
you need to
Hogwarts.
do.
Good to see you.
Barbara, you do whatever you want.
Her
Oh my
grandma,
gosh.
Dylan's other grandma said,
Yeah.
"Yep, that was a horrible night, full of disbelief and confusion and grief, holding his sister Carly as she screamed."
I'm so sorry, Kayla.
I'm sorry you've experienced that too, Gretchen. Was saying, I hear you, Blake. For me, I've been through periods where it feels like I'm walking around in someone else's life feeling detached and numb. It is surreal.
I love you too.
When you were talking about your experiences.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is Dylan's other grandma. Yeah, Carly thought that she thought that she didn't know what the noise was. She was in the shower. Carrie didn't know what the noise was. She was in the bed. My daughter didn't. She was outside.
Yeah.
Maybe that is because I linked the word with the emotional pain of having someone I know do it. Me too, Sky, and not just one. I mean, my sister's husband. And then, I mean, she found him that 7:30 in the morning in the garage. Paramedics said he would never. I mean, he even put a piece of tape on his throat, wouldn't wake her up. And then my other sister's husband on on Valentine's Day, his ride to work went in to try to get him up, and he was gone. I'm telling you, if you're a man and you make it out of my family, I guess you made it. Because it's horrible, the loss.
Yeah. And I like to say this as someone who
Skylight, I know I thought about
I'm
you.
so sorry, Sky.
Yeah, I knew it.
No, Thanksgiving is just like the holidays. It's just the hardest
imagine?
time because
Today's the day after Thanksgiving. It should feel weird for you, Skylight. And I knew that, like I said, she said, "I don't remember much about the evening. My anxiety was wacko, and just consoling Amanda was horrendous. So that's how I feel today. Our daughter, you just can't. This is her birth mom, her real mom. I don't even know how we made it through that. I think we just all had each other. You had ex-wives together holding each other up. You had, you know, it didn't matter.
Their husbands were there too. I mean, in spirit, but
No,
the
no, no. I
spirits
mean, like
kind
the
of-
night of Dylan. No, like my
oh,
kid.
the actual night. Yeah.
Yeah, this is. She said my ex-husband being the cop. Yeah. Okay, so I was married and raised Amanda. This is her birth mom. Okay. She raised her until they got divorced, and then Amanda went with her dad, and I had her since then. And then Amanda's birth mom says her ex-husband was the cop working the scene. How small of a town.
I can't even imagine what he must have went through. Like,
No.
it's horrendous.
It's just, I mean, if you get into the roots of it, and I wasn't going to try to get into that deep, but I mean, she needs to talk about it too. We're friends. She just moved out. She worked for me. She just left and went back to Louisiana to be with our son because he's his child and him. He left his baby mama, went to Florida with my grandson, and he moved back with him and he needed help, so she went back over there to help him. And she says our kids, I mean, we truly never use the word step. She was amazing.
And I just want to say too to anybody, like, when my birth mom died, there was just this anger that I felt anytime someone would try to. Now, not so much anymore, but there's some people I felt that said, "I'm sorry for your loss," because it was like the society's copy paste thing that you say when someone loses somebody.
Yeah.
But what I find so helpful was one of my friends is like, "I don't know what to say. It's BS. Like the entire situation's BS. I get why you're upset." Like and I was like, that's the perfect response. Like you there's nothing that you can say or do to take that loss away from someone. But just hearing that there was someone else on the planet, like a single other person that just understood that I was angry and was just holding space for that anger or whatever I was feeling at the time without judgment was so important. And, they're like, "Hey, if you come to my party next week, I'd love to see you, but if not, that's okay too." Just, like, having people in my life who understood that, like, I might burst into tears randomly. I just lost my freaking birth mom, so
You did.
yeah.
Misha said, look, Misha, I like what Misha put up there. Oh.
Yeah.
The 333 thing. It's so weird that you say that, Misha, because that's my number. And that's even more weird than me and Daryl were in there talking a while ago while we were eating supper. We were doing these stupid trivia things on TikTok, and everything was like 333. I was like, yeah. He was like, one of the things was like, how old was Jesus when he was crucified? And then I said 33. And then it was just like, it's like, 3's my lucky number. And now you have 3. That's connection. Yeah. It's just so things are like, it's not, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe things happen the way they're supposed to. I may not understand them, but I know that they were meant to happen. Or if they happen, I know there's a reason that happened, and I may not know in this lifetime.
Yeah.
But I do know that there was a reason. Because I do believe I'm a Christian, and I'm not throwing my beliefs on anybody else, but that's what gets me through my day every day. I would not be able to live in a world without hope and faith. I wouldn't. I mean, there's got to be something to hold on to that's higher than us. And that's just my belief. It's not pushed on anyone else.
Yeah.
And to kind of speak on connection, have have y'all ever watched that TV show, The Nanny?
Yes.
Do you remember the episode where um, Maxwell's wife comes to visit him, and she lets him know that Fran was the woman that she sent to him?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yes.
that is a real thing.
Yeah.
Personally, I do.
D. Thompson, thank you so much. Thank you all. Yeah, both of you for the super chats are amazing. Thank you so much for that. I don't want anybody to ever think I'm sitting here ignoring anybody. I really appreciate all of you. Say something. I stopped saying I was sorry in those instances, but I have learned that the silence is much worse. I'm here for you. I see you. I hear you. Right? Let me show you right. Thank you, Nico. Yeah, I'm not going to push my belief. I don't push my beliefs on anybody because who knows if I'm right. I mean, I think that, that's pretty sad, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. I really don't know. But I don't know if I'm right. But I believe that I'm right because I have to put myself into something. I have to hook on, and you have to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And that's the way I believe for sure in life. I mean, that's been proven time and time again. But here you go. That is where I ground myself in that. And to hold myself to that standard of being a better human being every day, or try to be, or attempting to be, is by doing that. I have to be able to ground myself to there's something I'm reaching for. And so to get there, I have to do what I can do to get there. And that is, you have to have your path and your, I guess for me, I'm just blabbling, but me, that is where I come from. And I don't push my beliefs because I don't even know if I'm right, but I would rather live like I'm right and be wrong than live like I'm wrong and be right.
For me,
So,
I always read between the lines, which I was always taught that it's supposed to be personal. Like
it is personal.
I mean, Scripture says, "Only he who finds me with his whole heart." You have to be you. It has to be organic. And
Yes.
a lot of times I would go to church, especially the school that I went to. I would always think, like, are we talking
Thank
about
you,
the
baby.
same? Are we talking about the same God? Like, for me, I've always felt like I could feel him, and
That's right. You don't have to say it. It's not, you feel. That's right. That's how I feel. And
it,
I like what Ben says right here. Look, Blake, I'm glad to hear that, Q. I've been dealing with someone who calls themselves Christian and his behavior is anything, but it caused me to start to think it was all BS. I'm heartened by your faith. Thank you. My faith comes from I mean, I was taught it, I was brought up in it, but you ground yourself to something, and that found me. And I've never been able to go through life without it. If I didn't have faith, I see. Thank you, Indigo. If I didn't have faith, I don't know where I would be because it sustains me. And like I said, it may be wrong and it may not be wrong, but I would rather live like I'm wrong. I mean, I'd rather live like I'm right and be wrong than the other way around. And that's all I can say. That's for me. And you're right, Blake. You feel it. You feel it. I mean, I listened to Amy Scobie. I have her book, 2 books. Actually, I got her Audible, and then I had her send me one that she autographed when she left Scientology and became a Christian, because she had one moment in her life where it was personal to her, and she knew. And when you know, and if you don't, I mean, like I said, I'm not claiming I'm right, but my actions show who I am inside, and that's all I want. And when all these people were bullying us, and I'm going to just say it, and bullying, and I said I would never say it again, but it hurt to the core, and it made me think more of Dylan than anything, because I was sitting here and I would sit here. It was a poor, pitiful me, you know. Oh, Tampa, I hope I don't trigger you. It's been, I think of Dylan, and I'm sitting here as we've been cyberbullied so bad, and we've kept quiet, and we've done the right thing, and I know we have. But you know what? If they could just sit here on my side and look at the pictures of this beautiful boy, because of something that people are doing actively, it's not okay. Hurt people don't need to hurt people.
And that's what makes me angry. Because I think if they could, I don't think they would care. That's what makes me angry. Especially for you.
Faith is see,
Irrationally angry.
but see, I know who I am. That's the thing. I know who I am. And I want my actions to show who I am. I shouldn't have to say words. I want my actions to reflect who I am. That's what I want. If someone sees me, you know, right now, and they tell me, you know, they don't see any good in me, then you don't see any good in me, and that's fine. Just go your own way. If you don't want to be around me, you don't have to be mean. Just leave. Just go. You know, if you think I'm fake, if you think I'm not, this is what you see. Blake, you've known me for I don't know how many years. What you see is what you get. I've come a long way from where I used to be. I've had my ups and downs, and it's just called life.
And,
But this
we
community,
learned a lot.
we've been through a lot together, you know. And I love everybody in this community. I never thought I would be on a YouTube video saying this. Y'all are the most amazing people. And I'm very grateful.
I am too.
I'm very grateful. And I'm so happy that y'all were here to see my beautiful grandson. I dealt with that pain, that confusion for 7 months. I was led to believe that what was happening with Christina, that was what happened with Christina. My God knew who I was before I was on the realm. He knew Christina too. That's right. It's amazing how a community can come together like this. Most of us never met, yet the love, compassion, and caring just collides into one oh big heart here. It's wonderful, and I agree so much. Nico, for anyone practicing as they see fit, if our values align, wonderful, right? Tampa, yes, you are a gem. I love you with all my heart. So glad you came. It stayed so much relief when Keela told me your backup name was. I had to tell him. My mom's like, who is that? I said, it's my friend. God, your God doesn't make mistakes. That's how I feel. Misha, that's how I feel. Love, not judge. Yeah. Oh, wait, Indigo says, I think portrait spirits. Yes. And you know what, Indigo, you really, you know what, I'm going to tell you that how much that meant to me. I'm going to tell you right now. As soon as you said it and you messaged me that, and I had a calm come over me. And you know what I did? I thought about, I always say on here how I don't dream. And the last dream that I had was of my friend Taylor that got killed in a car wreck. The night before her record went #1. And that it was on the date, the night that she died, her angel anniversary this past year. Is the last time I really had a dream I could remember. And y'all, I saw her. She talked to me, and she told me to call her mom and tell her that she was okay, and I did. And her mom was she was just crying. She said, "Thank you. I needed to know that because I haven't felt Taylor in a while." And I said, "She's here." I talked to her. I know she's here. So yeah, I believe that.
I do too. I had the night before we found out that my grandmother had passed away. I had a dream that she had packed up all of her bags and walked into her house and said, "Well, I'm here to stay." And
Yeah.
it was like getting to see her for the last time.
Tampa, my mom said it's not my job to judge, only to love unconditionally. What a relief. My mom taught me the same thing. My mom taught me that we're not here to judge. We're not here. My mom said there's enough hate in this world. She taught all 4 of her daughters this. There's enough hate in this world that her daughters will not be a part of it if she has anything to do with it. And she raised us like that. And she was right. I saw my mom yesterday. I went to eat with my mom, and I really had a nice time with my mom. I don't have a nice time at the doctor because she tells on me and asks questions that I don't want to hear the answers to and stuff like that. But she's a mom. She does her job. Yeah. Y'all all know the story about the necklace, so my necklace anyway. And it's so thank you, Marie. Thank you, Marie. Nico, I have my dad's thumbprint on a necklace, and I can't find it. It disappeared. I don't know. I've checked everywhere. So, and Daryl got up and left the house, left me crying, and was gone. And come back with a card that said, "I heard you lost something that was very precious to you, and this is not a replace. This is not to replace it, but to remind you how proud I am of you every day, with Dad." Because he always see me just going for it, and it was not here anymore, and so he bought me this one. And he said he had to, and he don't even believe in, like, he doesn't believe in, and he said, "Something made me get up and go." He's like, "No, I'm not going to argue with that."
A special shout out to Daryl for taking care of our Keela.
I'm telling you, he was just like, I had to go. I didn't have a choice. Yeah, I read that. He came and sat on the bed in there. He said, and he shut the bedroom door, and he walked out. And he's like, "When you get ready, come out." And I was bawling, especially when I read the card that said, "Love, Dad." I mean, how proud he was of me. So I don't believe anything's by accident. I believe this community was meant to be here. No matter how we got here, we're here.
It's definitely needed.
And I'll try to be this. Well, no, it's not. I'm not going to give that promise. I can't do that. It won't be the last time you see me cry on here. But this is just a really hard day. And we can do hard things. And I did. And we made it.
That's right.
One more down. And so is my drink. My prime drink is gone. But I live my life every day with that. We can do hard things. And people to be seen and heard and listened to and loved. That's what it's all about. I know, right? I didn't plan on crying this much.
I didn't either. I was trying not to, but it just gave.
Tampa, that's how I feel. My dad, we scattered his ashes in his favorite place he wanted them, and that was out there in the pasture with his horses, around the tree. I don't. That kind of goes back to that old thing, why are you standing at my grave and weep? I'm not there. So I appreciate y'all more than you'll ever know. There are no words for me to tell you all how much I love you and how much you mean to me and how much everyone has done. I mean, this is divine intervention at its finest, because this couldn't have happened without everything falling into place like it has. So even for the bad and the hard and the mean stuff, I'm thankful for that, because it's got me to where we are now.
I believe that too.
So thank you all for being here. I'm going to go take my medicine, because as you can see, I'm trying to hold this head up, but it's not working too well. It's shoulder's gone, guys. I'm probably be in surgery next week. So, and then it's Blake and Red and Indigo and Mandy and everybody, and Hamina and John, and everybody's going to be taking over the channel for a while. I'll be hopping on and off, but I won't be able to sit like this, because this right here is just killing me anyway. I don't do well with pain, guys. This is horrible. But I wanted to try to do, if anybody's in the peer support groups, I need to get on here and maybe Sunday try to do the peer support and see if Skylight might can help if interested. Thank you, Indigo. That's why I don't ever panic whenever I have such a, I mean, even our team is just amazing. So thank you all. Our family, our subs, our members, our subscribers, just everybody. Thank you. And Blake, thank you for being on here with me. I don't think I could have done this without you.
Of course, anytime.
I love you all. And I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to do something happy tomorrow. I love you all. And y'all have a great night.
Have a good night, everyone.